Yo, what's good, everybody? Today we're gonna run through price action today. Look at how I saved myself a ton of different losses that a ton of different traders took. How I was able to use discernment to figure those things out, and hopefully I can just deliver you guys some W lessons, right? So let's just go ahead and start with that top-down analysis. Bias coming into today, I thought this was pretty clean, honestly, right? I was pretty indecisive, right? But overall, I was looking bullish, right? Because as we're seeing right here, right? Bigger time for let's just start, right? So yesterday sells us off, right? And we're kind of back to where our week started around this new week open gap. We place in a crazy huge wick and reject higher, right? And then in the overnight session, we come back, hold that wick, we hold consequent encroachment, we bump higher, right? So from that bump higher, right, what goes on? Price then runs up. We may place in our manipulation leg stop rate of this low right here, run higher. We inverse these fair value gaps. We place in this nice new fair value gap, and we make a 1 hour change of the state, right? So now opening the market around here, I'm looking bullish, right? What is going to add to my bullish bias, right? Since we have 830 news, I want to see 830 generate some liquidity that's going to be conducive. I know, big word, right? Conducive to our bullish bias. That's going to give me a potential point that I can see price draw to that's higher, right? Not a point that news generates that price can draw to that's lower, right? So today, that ends up actually being the opposite, right? We place in this little 830 kind of news candle range right here. And then from here, we end up slowly grinding to the upside here and then taking out this high with an SMT, right? So this is more bearish if anything, but keep in mind, this is 1 minute bearishness against a whole bigger time frame of bullishness, right? So I'm trying to figure out, what is the market going to do? On open, we could manipulate a little bit and then sell off. And I'm sure a lot of people took these opportunities and got faded, bro. So let's just look through these, right? If you're looking to see this low get hit on open, I don't think it's too bad of an opportunity, right? I'll tell you guys why. I look at this as being the point where price is going to manipulate away and then run back here. And if we want to bounce from here to then continue the bigger time frame, that's completely fine, right? To then maybe continue all the way to these highs, that's okay, right? But once again, I don't think there's a reason that this clearly bullish 15-minute model right here, after seeing all of this nice price action prints to the upside, holding this 15-minute looking so super clean, right? After seeing all of that, I don't think there is a case that we can make where right now we will sell, right? I don't think that's possible. You can look at this and say, okay, this is changing the state, pull back. This is just turtle soup, right? But watching the way that we hold midpoint of our new week open gap, hold consequent encroachment, and we run higher so nicely, this to me is more bullish, right? So I'm at least looking for Asia highs. After those get taken, I want to see what is the market going to do and show me, right? So with this potential draw below, we're kind of in a limbo state where I want to see the market invalidate, what I want to see. So think about this, right? If I want to see this low get taken, I don't want to have the market show me that we're not bullish and instead we're bearish towards that low, right? So what's going to tell me that? What will tell me that is something that I would use for a bullish trade to get invalidated, right? So for example, bullish imbalance, right? This 5-minute held pretty much the entire morning session, bro. This is not something I'm trying to do, bro. This back and forth is literally barcode that we should not be trading because look at this. So we place in this 5-minute and we set the condition and we say, okay, I need to see this get inverse cleanly and held until or before I even think about taking a short, right? When we set that condition, look at the loss that we prevent ourselves from taking. Right here, low gets ran through. Okay, now I need to see this hold and give me some type of entry opportunity. What's your entry opportunity right after that? Maybe a pullback. Okay, if you wait for some type of internal model for an inverse and reaffirmation of a short bias, you get nothing, right? Until right here. Maybe then you can catch a move. Until right here. Maybe then you can catch a move. But by waiting for price to show me everything I need to see that's in line with my bias and not just hopping into anything that's half-assed, I'm going to not only save myself a ton of losses because now I've just set standards, but I'm also going to save losses in this moment and be more aligned with the true bias, right? So pretty much, bro, I was going to take in a potential short right here, which a lot of people did, but I didn't want to because of this imbalance, right? Because that 5-minute definitely has a good potential to hold. The way I could have traded this, right, is take this trade right here, go break even at the 5-minute. If we flush it, we flush it. If not, and that would have just given me a break even, right? Same thing we have here at SMT. I don't think this opportunity was all too bad. It's just not really like I would have wanted to see this get taken by then, right? So then from here, boom, this could have played, doesn't end up going. This is kind of a hunt towards these lows. I don't think this is too bad of a scalp, honestly. Something tight like this really is not bad at all. This could have been pretty clean. Final opportunity that ends up delivering. I don't like this, but it does have a bit of merit, right? So I talked about this and I took a paper trade right here. I'll show you guys. It was pretty much just like this quick little paper and scalping down to this low, right? We experienced a ton of back and forthness. And the whole reason that it's not a W trade is because of this, right? Because watching this at this point with 1, 2 opportunities to go take this low, if this is truly a strong draw on liquidity, I would have wanted to see this get taken already, right? And since it hasn't been taken already, it's showing me, number one, that low is not a strong draw on liquidity. And if that low is not a strong draw on liquidity, then there's no real good strong draw on liquidity on the chart. So without a strong draw on liquidity, my first step of taking any single trade, which is my draw on liquidity, is not there. My first, biggest, most foundational and important step ever is not there. So I'm simply going to say everything is going to be low probability until I can see the draw on liquidity. Now that I know there's no good draw on liquidity, I'm not taking the setup, right? This is just simply a loose draw on liquidity. So now I'm paper trading. Now I'm just kind of tape reading, watching price, trying to guess, almost like improving my ability to read where we're going to go, all that kind of stuff, right? So from here on out, that's the mindset that I'm coming in with, right? However, I'm trying to reconcile that mindset with one other thing. And that other thing is this right here. Is that when we have a choppy AM session and we delay the hitting of what we think could be a really good objective, right? So for example, this low, what we think could be a really good objective, right? Within a 15-minute, it's news low, all that stuff, right? We think it can be a super perfect objective, but we don't hit it during AM session, which is when we would have already wanted to hit it. 1050 macro or last ditch macro, a lot of the time will deliver us towards that low finally, right? It will finally make the move. Where is our 1050 macro? Right here, 1050, boom, right here. Right after, right when 1050 macro opens, boom, that's the beginning of our sell-off, right? So if you want, you can take something low risk around here, right? This is completely fine, and then just go break even fast. That's completely fine, bro, and this ends up banging. But the reason I don't like this is simply because, like I said, this is too much chop and too much, like, no good draw on liquidity for me to want to be able to take a trade, right? Like, this is just not good to me. And watching the way we go back and forth, it's literally just barcode. I'm not trying to trade this, bro. But a reason we take this trade right here has a couple things to it, right? First of all, I don't believe there's any kind of SMT. So to many, this just looks like a completely naked entry, bro, which isn't anything good, right? It's not really what we want to be trading. But let me show you guys why, right? At this point, we've already made a change in the state right here. This is already showing invalidation of these, right? And we're now starting to chop a little bit, right? So this is why, like, obviously I wouldn't be putting real capital behind this because there's a good chance that this can just run higher after this, right? Because once again, our barcode does this, right? So I'm not really trading this, not really sure really what I want to see, but I'm waiting for my information. So my information tells me this. We run lower, make a change in the state. We run higher now, and we place in this small fair value gap, and then we inverse that fair value gap. Okay. Looking at the amount of volatility that we inverse this fair value gap with, it gives me a good point to take a snapshot of price to say that I know what I want to see price do. And that snapshot is right here. At this point, everything that's bullish has been invalidated, right? Now, all I want to see is price continue its bearish order flow. However I want to do it, I just want to get in the opportunity because now is right and I want to see this ride to here, right? Boom, that's how I want to do it. So watching this, I'm saying now is when I want to hop in, right? And the whole reason that I paper trade this is because, bro, this is not guarded in any way, right? What we can see price do is now we can continue the model, like I said, which is one possibility, right? And our bias is correct and we get paid for it, right? Okay, good. It can also do this, right? It can also go right here, tap me in, play around a little bit, run higher, then make a perfect model to the downside, and then we can run lower. This is a trade that is not bad to take in reality because now we have this context and we pull back and generate more. Now it shows this internal range is affirming what we already knew from this to be showing us, right? So with this context, this is something that's not bad to trade, right? And the whole question becomes risk aversion, right? Some days this will happen, right? And the guy that takes this initial trade will get stopped out, right? But some days it'll be the other way around, where the guy that takes this initial trade will bank and the other guy will be stupid, stuck waiting for nothing, right? So it begs the question, what is better? That's where you get into systems, right? That's where you get into, hey, I take 2 tries in every single setup. You know, if I get stopped out, but it's still valid, I re-enter, all that kind of stuff, right? That's where you get people like me that just take our initial opportunity that works with the amount of risk aversion we want to carry right now, meaning like it's okay, like I'm fine putting on this risk for the given setup, and if I can lose, I lose at the end of the day, right? So watching this, that's why I paper trade this, because this is the lowest probability opportunity. This is going to be higher probability, but less frequent, right? So I could get stuck waiting for this like a dumbass, not get any trade, no problem, right? So coming through, right, I want you guys to understand how that works, like how psychologically we have to have standards, say yes, say no to certain things, and wait for more if that's what our level of risk aversion works like, right? You know what I'm saying? Overall, bro, this is a day where I am simply just watching chop, and I am using my own discernment to recognize, hey, what's the bigger time frame showing me? Hey, what's this? What's that? How is it all working to show me the true bias and where we're actually going with price? And because of that, I'm holding high standards every single time we rock it around, because it's showing me maybe price doesn't have those things, right? Maybe bias isn't working right now because we don't have a strong bias. Maybe we don't have a strong draw on liquidity. Maybe we don't have volatility because it's Friday. Maybe our news wick isn't really the real draw on liquidity. All those things, right? I'm using them, and because of that, I'm getting one thing, and that one thing is discernment. I'm getting the ability to say, hey, this is not a trade I want to be taking, and I can fade the opportunity and step out and not touch anything because of that. You know what I'm saying? But overall, bro, today was an interesting day. I didn't think this was too bad, of a day to trade. Yeah, overall, bro, I just think that today was a good day to hop on and use our ability to discern, and that's where we're finding our growth. Right? Our growth that we found today was not in our account balance, but it was in our own brain and the ability to discern what's real opportunity, what's fake opportunity, and because of that, I was able to avoid some losses today, not take any dubs. But yeah, pretty good day to analyze price action, learn some lessons. Hope you guys learned something from the video, got something, comment it below. Hope you guys, enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for coming, investing in yourself, learning, always back in that education, continuous development. And yeah, so I'm going to catch you guys later, and peace out.